Today we will starting new chapter, circular motion. You have some idea about this chapter. Already you have done in class 10 and also. What is there are two types of circular motion, uniform and non-uniform. So what is a uniform circular motion? The circular motion in which the speed remains constant is called uniform circular motion. The motion in which speed is not constant, such a motion is non-uniform circular motion. So within this chapter you have to learn about both. But before that you have to learn some definitions of the physical quantities involved in circular motion. So body is moving in a circular motion like this, either uniform or non-uniform. Here is the center. Body is over here, A, and body maybe after some time moves and comes here at the point B. Then we see this distance traveled along this path. This is called linear displacement. Linear displacement, which will be in the form of an arc of the circle. What I mean is, if I join like this way, if I join, this is called arc denoted by S. Arc is denoted by the symbol S. This S is called linear displacement or linear distance traveled, we say, linear displacement. This is the radius R. So you will find that between the points A and B, the angle at the center is also changing. The angle at the center is denoted by theta, and this theta is called angular displacement, angle-wise displacement, angular displacement. This is known as angular displacement. The angle formed at the center is called angular displacement between the 2 points during its motion. Okay, what is the SI unit of S? The SI unit of S is meter, whereas the SI unit of theta is radian. SI unit of angular displacement is radian, where the SI unit of linear displacement is meter. It is measured in terms of meter, but theta is measured in terms of radian, unit called radian, RAD. Actually, 180 degree is equal to pi radian. 180 degree in maths also you will do. 180 degree will be equal to 180 degree angle is equal to pi radian. Radian you can write in short RAD, rad. Then what is the velocity? The velocity, this is called linear velocity. V is equal to, we write change in displacement by time or displacement upon time. Delta S by delta t we can write with respect to time, or we can write only S by t. This is called linear velocity. Linear velocity. And the unit of linear velocity is meter per second. Same way, because of the angular displacement, it will have a velocity which is called angular velocity. That is denoted by the symbol omega. Omega means angular velocity, angular velocity. And omega formula we have delta theta by delta t, means change in displacement upon time, which with respect to the time. What will be the SI unit of angular velocity? The SI unit of angular velocity will be radian per second. Theta is radian, remember, radian per second. This SI unit is radian per second. We write rad per second. Rad per second. Radian per second. By the way, they say number of revolutions per second is given. They say RPS. A body is moving with the speed of revolution of body is 140 RPS. So what is value of omega? This one will change in radian per second. RPS, how do we change in radian per second? This is R stands for revolutions per second or rotations per second. How do we change? Here we are writing 140 one revolution will have how much angle? One revolution will have 360-degree angle. That is 2 pi. Multiply by 2 pi, then it will change radian. So radian, the second time remains same. So this will be the answer. Pi value you can put 22/7, multiply everything and find the answer. Or you can keep the answer in terms of pi. Sometimes if it is given like this, 20 rpm given, rpm. How do we change radian per second? This is revolutions per minute or rotations per minute. How do we change in radian per second? We will be writing 20. One revolutions will be 2 pi. Minute will change in seconds. Minute will change in second. If it is already given radians, is well and good. We did not to change radian per second. We will not change. But if it is given RPS, RPS means revolutions per second or rotations per second, or RPM means rotations per minute or revolutions per minute. There we have to immediately change into radian per second. Then we will get the value of omega. So one revolution will have 2 pi radian. Means 2 pi is 360 degree. Now we will cancel it all and find the answer like this. Answer we can add 2 pi by 3 radian per second. This is how we change. Okay. Now give a heading right now. Relationship between linear and angular speed or velocity. Relationship between linear and angular speed or velocity. We will find a relationship between v and omega. V is called angular velocity. If we take only the magnitude, it will become angular speed. And velocity is angular speed is omega, or angular velocity with the arrow mark will be the angular velocity. We are finding a relationship. So first we write this since v is equal to, we can write as delta s by delta t, that is change in displacement by time with respect to the time. In mathematics, whether you know this formula or not, you should know that theta value will be, theta is in that angle in the center will be equal to r by radius. Here we get s by r. Theta value will become s by r. Therefore s value we can write theta. We can replace s with theta. Delta will write s value will write theta by delta t. Theta we can put in bracket like this because r is not variable. R is radius which is constant. So that means theta is only variable here. Next time we write like this v delta theta by delta t. What is it called? It is called omega. So write omega. This is the relationship. Since you can write since omega is equal to delta theta by delta t. Like this. This is the relationship. V equal to omega. V is linear speed and omega is angular speed. This is the relationship in their magnitude. But velocity wise we write like this. V equal to omega cross r. Cross product. V is velocity at any point will be perpendicular to the radius. Velocity is perpendicular to the radius and also perpendicular to the value of omega, angular velocity. So this is how, if they ask choose a relationship between linear velocity and angular velocity, we write like this. Choose the relationship between linear speed and angular speed, and we write like this. V is equal to omega. Speed wise we write without arrow, v equal to omega, but whereas velocity is coming, we write v equal to omega cross r. Okay. Do you know what is the direction of velocity at every point? What is the direction of velocity? The direction of velocity at every point is given by a tangent drawn at that point. Tangent. That is why this velocity direction is perpendicular to the radius. That means tangential along the tangent. and velocity always keeps on changing. Why velocity keeps on speed in uniform circular motion is constant, but velocity is not constant. Velocity is variable. Why? Because the direction of motion of the body at every point keeps on changing. The direction of velocity at every point keeps on changing. Normally, class 10 diagram, if you remember, what is the direction of velocity? Suppose body is moving in this direction, like this, anti-clockwise. What is the direction of velocity at the point A? It will be given by tangent. At the point B, it will be another tangent. Or at the point C, it will be another tangent. Here at this point, it will be another tangent. A, B, C, D. At all points, it is given by the tangent. Whereas velocity value magnitude is 10. Then its speed remains constant, whereas velocity will never be constant because of changing the direction of its motion. Is velocity variable? Answer is yes. Why it is variable? Because of changing the direction of its motion at every point. At this point, what is the direction of velocity? Dot tangent. At this point, what is the direction of the dot tangent? At that point, you will get the direction of velocity. Because of changing the direction of velocity, there will be an acceleration acting on it. There will be acceleration. That acceleration direction will be always towards the center. There will be acceleration like this. Acceleration will be acting towards the center like this. At every point, the acceleration direction will be towards the center. At every point, the direction of acceleration will be towards the center like this. Then this acceleration is also variable because of changing direction. Velocity direction is changing. Acceleration direction is also changing. At this point, it is in the left side. Out here, it is downward. It is in the right direction. It is in the upward direction. It's all changing every point. So acceleration is also variable. Let us such an acceleration in a circular motion which acts always towards the center of the circle, or it acts always perpendicular to the velocity, is called centripetal acceleration. Centripetal is towards the center. The acceleration acting towards the center. Such an acceleration is called centripetal acceleration. Centripetal. Why centripetal? Because it is acting always towards the center. Along the radius. The direction of acceleration is along the radius. We call it radial acceleration. The body has always a radial acceleration. Radial means along the radius, tangential means along the tangent. And what is the angle between A and B? The angle between A and B is 90 degree. When a body moves in a straight line path, that time direction of A and direction of velocity will be the same. But here the direction of acceleration and velocity is not same. Acceleration acts in a direction perpendicular to the velocity. There is a reason behind why it acts perpendicular to the direction of velocity. Or the question may come, why acceleration is always radial or is always directed towards the center of the circular path? Why it is always directed towards the center? The reason is that since the acceleration is radial, which means it does not have any tangential component. When the acceleration is radial, radial, then it does not have any tangential component. To affect the magnitude of velocity. Okay, you can understand this point what we have written in this manner. Suppose we are having the velocity acting, I will take this here, velocity is acting like this. Velocity is here. But if the acceleration, I guess, is not acting, here is the center, but it is acting like this, acceleration is acting this way. It is suppose not acting along the center. along the radius towards the center. If it is not acting, it is acting somewhat like this. Then what will happen? This A now becomes, now we can break into component. It is breakable now. So like here is the angle made. So this A we can break into two components. One component will be here, one component will be here. The value of this component will become A cos theta, this will become A sin theta. That is, what is the value of velocity? This velocity is now no longer independent. It has got this value getting added up in the same direction. Either it will be adding up or it will be subtracting, but it will affect this value. Do you think the value of V remain constant? Will it remain independent? Answer is no. Because this component is disturbing, this component of acceleration is coming over here and is disturbing the value of velocity V. In that case, the velocity can never be, the speed can never be constant. Speed means magnitude will remain same throughout, but it will not happen in this case. If it is not like this. Let us take the case, any case we will take, and the direction of acceleration it will break into, suppose velocity is like this, and acceleration is acting in any direction, and this is the direction of acceleration other than the center. This theta will be there, will break into components, will become A cos theta, this will become A sin theta. Now the value of V is getting affected by this component of acceleration. But if acceleration is exactly here and velocity is exactly here, can we break A into components? We can break, but we will not get another vertical or another horizontal component. So A and B, both of them will be independent of each other. If the angle between them is exactly 90 degree. There is A we cannot break, or its component will not affect this. This component, V component also will not affect this. Both of them will remain independent. There is no angle being made. If I told you last time, when the vector is exactly horizontal or exactly vertical, so we cannot break into another horizontal or vertical component. But if it is making some angle, either theta degree with the horizontal line or with the vertical line, so it breaks into horizontal and vertical component. But here we cannot. It's all exactly horizontal. Can it have any component? Answer is no. It is exactly vertical. Can it have any component? Answer is no. So none of them will be breaking into horizontal or vertical components. So both of them will remain independent of each other. They will not affect. This acceleration will not affect the magnitude of velocity. Thus, the velocity will remain. The magnitude of velocity will remain constant. Magnitude I'm talking about, not the direction will never be constant. So that is the idea. If acceleration acts perpendicular to the velocity and velocity is tangent, so what is perpendicular to the velocity, or what is perpendicular to the tangent in a circle? We say radius. The radius is always perpendicular to the velocity. This angle becomes exactly 90 degrees. So that is the reason why acceleration is always directed towards the center of the circular path. It cannot have in any. It cannot act in any other direction. If it acts, then it will be breaking into components and it will affect the magnitude of the velocity. So which is not possible in case of uniform circular motion. So that is the idea here. And what is this such an acceleration called? Such an acceleration is called centripetal acceleration, which towards the center acting acceleration. And this acceleration is provided by a force, and that force is called centripetal force. I think about that you learned in lower class. But now you will be knowing the formula of A, as a centripetal acceleration, and the formula of the centripetal force, which you did not do in class 10. Now we are going to derive those formulas. So you can give the heading now. Expression for centripetal expression. We are deriving this expression for centripetal acceleration and centripetal force. First, we'll find acceleration value and then we'll find force. So for this, we'll be drawing this diagram. Let us draw the circle here. Center is here. I'll take 2 points. Any 2 points we can choose. You can randomly choose any two. I'll choose one point A, another point I'll choose B. I'll join here. This angle is theta. This AB will be the value of S arc A to B. Acceleration direction is where towards the center. Okay. We'll draw the direction of velocity at this point. Direction of velocity at the point A will be by the tangent here, which is V1. At this point, we draw the direction will be at V2. Direction of tangent we are drawing. So we are taking the point not exactly over here, somewhere in different position. Let us take. So V1 and V2. So we'll first find change in the velocity. That means delta V we will find. Delta V value will be coming V2 minus V1. Final velocity minus the initial velocity. Since velocity is vector, so we will be drawing a vector equation for this. Let us draw a vector diagram for this equation. Vector diagram. How to draw? So first I will draw that is over here. V1 direction first is V2 positive. V2 is going like this. This is V2. V1 is minus. So this one is I have taken this way. So V1 I will take minus this. Somewhat like this way, opposite. Minus V1. So this will be the value of delta V. Delta V will be given by this direction. This is the direction of delta V. V2 minus V1. Okay, which two of them are equal? Value wise, V2, V1 are equal. These two are equal. Magnitude wise, because V1 magnitude, V2 magnitude is suppose V is also V because uniform circular motion magnitude is same. So V2 value is equal magnitude side wise. This one sizes are equal. I like that V2 is equal to V, V1 also equal to V. So can we mark the angle and the this distance will be first we can this radius is suppose R over here. So first we can write as theta is equal to delta S by R by radius. Or let us say theta is equal to S by R. Mark this as equation 1. Theta is equal to S by R. So in this figure, where is the center? Can we mark the center over here? In this diagram, where is the center situated? Center is situated always between two equal sides. Where are the two equal sides? These two sides. Where is the center? Then the center will be here, theta. Angle between the two equal sides, and these two sides are equal. No, these two sides are equal. Then what is the angle between them? Theta. Here these two sides are equal. Here the angle between them is theta. Now we write here from vector diagram. This one from vector diagram. Theta is again delta V by this distance is. We write as delta V by this time radius is given by V. Right here V. Or we write delta V will be coming here V into theta. V is equal to we have the formula omega r. Here we can write or let us write V as it is, and theta value will be writing we'll divide by t here also and divide by t here also. Let us divide by t in both the sides. Both the sides we are dividing by t. Or delta t rather here also delta t. Or theta is variable, we can put this sign delta theta. Here also we can put a delta sign we can put here. Delta v by delta t is called a acceleration, change in velocity with respect to time. Keep v as it is because v magnitude is constant. Delta theta by delta t is called omega. So we have the formula coming a is equal to v omega. Next time we write as a is equal to v as it is, omega value write v by r from the relation since v is equal to omega r. Therefore omega value will become v by r. So ultimately the value become v squared by r. This is the formula of centripetal acceleration. Centripetal acceleration. Since the angle theta is variable, that's why we are writing as delta theta like okay. Delta theta is equal to delta v by v. So v delta v will come cross multiply v into delta theta. This is delta theta. V into delta theta. Dividing by t on both the sides, rather with respect to time both the sides. So delta v by delta t becomes acceleration, rate of change of velocity. Keep v as delta theta by delta t is for omega. So we have the formula A is coming v omega, and omega value will put v by r will become v by r. So ultimately the formula becomes A equal to v square by r. This is the magnitude of this acceleration, centripetal acceleration. Right? Since therefore centripetal force, right? Centripetal force F will be equal to mass into centripetal acceleration. Therefore F will be m into a. Next time we have F equal to m, and acceleration value is v square by r. So this becomes the formula. F equal to mv square by r. This is the common formula of centripetal force. F equal to mv square by r. Though this formula we can express in another form like this, we can write this also, or we can write F is equal to m as it is, v value to omega r. So, omega square r square by r cancels, answer will remain only omega square r in terms of omega and in terms of velocity, but both the formulas are same. Here acceleration formula in terms of v is v square by r, and in terms of omega it will become omega square r. This is the value of acceleration, omega square r. So this is how we change. So now you have learned the formula of centripetal force and the centripetal acceleration. Last time we used to only define centripetal force, centripetal acceleration, we used to only define, but now you are getting the formula. The formula, derivation, diagram, and then doing like this. This equation you may not have, because this has got no significance. We are not using this equation at all. So this equation you can cancel out. And from here you continue and then you get the result. Okay. Now what is called centrifugal force? Centrifugal force, it is the force acting on a body directed away from the center of the circular path, directed away. To describe the motion, to describe the equilibrium of a body, one force is acting towards the center, that is centripetal force. To balance it, we assume that there is a force, that is our imagination. That's why it is called fictitious force or pseudo force, PSEUDO. To explain the dynamic equilibrium of the body, to explain the equilibrium, the balancing, why the body still remains there only, its motion is unaffected. Body doesn't get attracted towards the center actually, because it remains there at that point only. That there must be a force acting on it in the direction away from the center. That force is called centrifugal force. Centrifugal force. Centrifugal force is the force acting away from the center of the circular path. This is an imaginary force. This is only used to describe the equilibrium of a body in a uniform circular motion. Equilibrium of a body in a circular motion. So this force magnitude will be same as the magnitude of the centripetal force, but the direction will be opposite. The centrifugal force value will remain the same, mv squared by r. But in the vector, and we put a minus sign over here. Minus sign tells you only the direction opposite to the centripetal force. Centripetal force is towards the center and is acting away from the center. Is centrifugal force a reaction force? Answer is no. According to Newton's third law, action always has equal and opposite reaction. Though this force is also equal and opposite in direction, but is it a reaction force? The answer is no. Why? Because action and reaction always acts on two different bodies. Remember, on two different bodies. Whereas centripetal and centrifugal force is acting on the same body. We are describing the motion of that body only, of a single body only. That's why it is not a reaction of the centripetal force. Remember it. Is centrifugal force a reaction of a centripetal force? Answer is no. Why? Because action and reaction always acts, on two different bodies. One body will be applying a force, that is action, and another body will apply the force on the first body, that is called reaction. Action reaction always occur between two different bodies, and they never balance each other. Action reactions, they do not balance each other, whereas this one